I think there's been what you could call some radio silence from one of the Welsh Labour MPs, the Aberafon MP, Stephen Kinnock. Was he going to back the deal in principle or not? He joins me now. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mark.
In the end, you didn't back it then?
That's right. I felt that the way in which the government was looking to make a bonfire of workers' rights, environmental protections and consumer protections meant that it wasn't something that I could support at second reading. And one of the main reasons for that is that the more you diverge from European regulations, the more difficult it is to do a free trade deal with the EU, because they will not want to do a deal with Singapore on Thames, with an economy that's looking to undercut them. And I think that could have been very damaging to the steel industry and to the manufacturing sector in Wales and across the United Kingdom.
How close did you come to backing it? How tempted were you?
Look, it's something that we've all agonised over, and there's many different factors to this, but in the end I've always felt that we need to have a compromise, and I don't think that the government was putting forward a compromise yesterday. That it was much more of an accommodation with the hard right Brexiteers in the Conservative Party than a genuine attempt to reach out to the other side. What we have now is a real opportunity to move forward and to get a deal that people can live with on all sides, and that is if the government is now prepared to stop behaving like a spoiled brat and taking its ball home, but actually sitting down with the Labour side and agreeing a timetable that is reasonable for parliamentary scrutiny. And if we can get that, I think we can get through the amendments and have a genuine compromise at the end of the process.
What is a reasonable timetable then?
Well, I think we need a solid week to 2 weeks to go through in detail the amendments that have been tabled, to really scrutinise the bill. You know, I mean, we got the bill at 8 o'clock the evening before we're supposed to be voting on second reading. It's a 120-page bill with all sorts of new clauses and new measures in it, so it is quite different in many ways to what we saw with Theresa May. We need a couple of weeks, I think, at least. That means a short extension could well be required, and I think a lot of Conservative colleagues can see that with a majority of 30 for the bill in principle at second reading, that looks like a pretty solid platform to get the bill through second reading.
So if the
committee stage.
Right, so if the EU come back and say yes, you can have this. There's been talked about a flex extension, maybe up to January, but you can have an earlier opt-out. And you think a couple of weeks would be enough. Would you then support the bill in principle? On the basis you might be able to change it?
So I've tabled an amendment on this issue of the level playing field, the vital role that workers' rights, consumer standards and environmental protections play in ensuring that we have quality products, and that the way in which our products are made are based on a level playing field. I hope that amendment will pick up support. I hope that the government would look at it very seriously, and if we can get amendments like that into the bill, then absolutely that's something that I think a number of Labour MPs could support.
What about an election? That could be what the government next step is, to say, well, we need to come back with a potential majority, high majority now, to try and deliver this through. Should Labour bite the government's hands off and go for an election? You can't hold out for much longer, can you?
I think a general election, whilst we're in this state of limbo, would not be good for our politics or for our democracy. We need to have a general election that is on the stuff that people on the doorstep in Aberafon really want to talk to me about, the NHS, jobs, schools, all the stuff that we used to talk about in British politics. If we have a general election whilst this whole issue of Brexit is still unresolved, it will just be good for the polarisers and the opportunists like the Brexit Party and the Liberal Democrats. So I think we should get this deal through. We have a real opportunity now.
When you say get this deal through, you mean this deal?
No, I mean get this process, this legislative process through, a deal at the end of it which I hope looks significantly different to the one we have now. The only way you make it look different is to amend it. The only way you amend it is to get it to committee stage. The only way we get it to committee stage is if the government is actually going to have to be grown up and behave in an adult way, sit down with Labour and agree a timetable for this which respects Parliament's need to scrutinise it properly.
Stephen Kinnock, thanks very much indeed.